And maybe I easy for my choice about if maybe we have to take did we do constant last week? Yes. Huh? It's again and above. For people who have entered university, already from 16 and above, those are constants. Okay? Those are actually concerns because we're going to make people who are from 14, 15 not to be able to enter university, even if maybe they've written their WIAC or not. So constraint can be specified when the table is created with the create table statement or after a table is created with the order table statement. To look into that. So SQL constraints are used to specify rules for the data in the table. So those are rules. If you want to enter Germany, I say one of the rules is that you must be 16 years and above. Okay. If you want to get married, you must be 18 years and above. So constraints are used to limit the type of data that can go into a table. So this ensures the accuracy and reliability of the data. If there is any violation between the constraint and the data action, the action is aborted. Okay. Yes. So there we have commonly used constraints in SQL, like not null, unique, primary key, foreign key, check, default, and create index. So we'll start with the not null. So by default, a column can hold null values. Like when we created that age column, we saw that they have null by default. But you can actually make it look like this is a must. You must put this a value in it. Then like when you want to fill a form in Jam, something like that, or online, they tell you required. Okay, if you don't do that one, you change some required. So now the not null content forces a column not to accept null values. This enforces a field to always contain a value, which means that you cannot insert a new record or update a record without adding a value to this particular field. Okay, so let's try to create a table. Let's look at this. So I want to create a table called persons. I'm going to make data experts the default database now. And then the ID number is integer. And then we now have a constraint. So we said it can be done while creating the table, or maybe after creating the table. So we say that the constraint, so we say that constraints can be specified when the table is created with a create table statement or after the table is created with the alter table statements. So this is another one. The last name is going to be a variable character, maximum of 205 characters. Okay, and it must not be no, that's nothing. Same thing applies here, and then age integer. So you can see in these three fields, okay, we have the constraint not null appearing in all of them. Okay. However, when it comes to the age, the constraint not null is not applied, meaning that this guy is optional. You understand me? So if I should run this one, okay, I should run it, and it's okay. We already have a table persons here. So I'm going to say it's maybe persons two, persons two. So created. All right, let me try to view the persons table. Select all the dots showing persons. Okay, so we have this here. So let's try to insert a record. And we'll try to say insert into persons. Okay, and then I will insert into persons and I say value persons two. Thank you. Persons two. I say values. We have an ID is a number. I say one. The last name, which is let's say it's Daniel. Okay. The other name, we put it again. Let's say it's Sandra. All right. So let's age. Let's put age here. This will go in perfect level. Hmm? So let me just put this one for now. Okay. So I think we've done something like that. So if I want to insert, so let me insert again by specifying the particular tables, the particular columns I want to use. So I want to use a ID number. I want to use the last name. No, I will not put the last name. I only put the first name and then the age. Then I'll come here and say values. Um, I'll put the ID number. Then I'll put the first name as Damien, and then the age as 23. Fine. Now, we specify the normal way we normally specify our table that if we want to specify, like show the specific table we want to insert our records into, the I enters their first name. This normally should go in well. Okay? This normally should go in well. But because we have a constraint on this guy, okay, it's going to bring out an exception, to an exception, an error. I'm going to run it. It's not saying the last name does not have a default value. Okay? The default value is there's no value. You say that okay, in case we didn't have a last name, we should have this value as the default value. There is a way of specifying it too. When we come here, you see default here. Okay. So because of this constraint added, we cannot actually change this. Okay. So you can to place a not function on each column when the person's table is created. So now you notice that we can actually create another one here. So let me just use this guy. And I say this is I goes in, let me say last name. I'm gonna use last name. Then I'm not going to put age. So I will come here again and say Fabian while removing this. This should go in well, abi? Because there's no constraint on this guy when I spend with them. So I will run it, enters well. I will try to view it, and then you can see now it goes more value. However, let's say after a board meeting by the company and they said, see, we really need to be getting the age of these students. Okay, it should not be optional again. Already we've created this table long ago, and what do we do? It means that you as a database developer should be able to ask you, is it possible to do this? You say yes, you now like what you're going to use as the alter, okay? You're going to alter that particular column, alter the table and then modify that particular column. How do we do that? Now see, if I try to run it this way, so you said alter table, we'll try to modify this, try to modify it. So alter table persons two, modify is to not null, okay? This will not run. You can tell me why. Because they already not counted. You say? They already taken there. Table that are not known. No? Because let's run it. You need to run what? Okay, in not null row. Okay. I mean, because it's a row that's there is no age with it, actually showing not null. So for you not null, you're trying. Another person should say something. Fine. Okay, now. Like what I'm going to say is. Wait now. Time don't pass. Okay, she got it, yeah. But I wanted somebody to also say something. So actually, what she was trying to say is that because there's a no value here, okay? So I say that everybody. So what happens to this guy who already has? So it means that we need to do what here? We need to update it. Okay. So when we update it before this code will run. So I'll say update. So I'll update this table. So which table is the name? Persons two, and then I'll say set k age equal to, let's say it's 21, and I ask use my where clause. But if I should say set, if I should stop there, I'm going to change everybody's age. Okay, you might say where ID equal to 2. So semicolon. This way help us tell you it goes well. So if I should run this guy now, it will go well. Yeah. But what if there are many like maybe it means that if there are many null values, not. If there are many null values, that's why it shows saying not null. There are many null values. It means you need to update all of them. You need to get their ID so that to do that. Okay. Next thing. So now, unique constraints. You know, you know that I can do something like this now. Look at this. Let me try to insert a record again like this. And this one. If I should run it, it's going to enter successfully. But if you try to look at this table, you will notice that we have this kind of duplicate in the ID. And this can actually affects, when I try to refer to someone. Because now, if I want to do this, maybe this person is another person. But sometimes in bank, you see somebody, Daniel Sandra. So, okay. So how do you, and then the ID name is the same. How do you, reconcile this? So as a developer, what you should do is to make sure you put some constraint in this ID so that if the person tries to enter something again that is the same with the first one or previous one, that it goes to not enter as a constraint. Okay. So, but before I do that, I can decide to say update this guy first. So let me just use this guy. Update this person sent. Um, okay, see, this can't work. Okay, I don't want it to. I don't want them to delete. So let me just say, okay, okay, I'm going to do something now. I'm going to say truncate persons to. Okay, truncate table persons to. So I run it, nothing is there. So I'll just run this first one and this, let me leave it out. So this one will enter me. Yeah, this one. But so let me just say I'm with only with this and I'm doing that. So I want to make sure that the next one that enters has to be two, not one again. Okay, so I need to, when I'm creating the table, I need to make it unique. I need to put my unique content. So the unique content shows that all values in a column are different. Okay. When we start, unique is somehow related to primary key, but I'll tell you the difference. Okay. So both unique and primary key content provide a guarantee for uniqueness for a column. Okay. So a primary key constraint automatically has a unique constraint. Okay. However, you can have many unique constraints per table, but only one primary key constraint per table. Only one primary key constraint. Now, this primary key, when we get there, I'll tell you more about it. so it doesn't confuse. So let's create another table and try to make a unique value of a unique field. So what is saying here actually is that you can have many constraints per table. Okay, that means in this table you can have constraint here, constraint here, okay, but you can only want one primary constraint per table. Only one particular one have the primary key, and that one cannot have primary key again once one of them has. So I'm going to create persist tree and ID integer. It has to be not null, that means something must be there, and it has to be unique. Okay, so last name space varchar space a. So these ones are kind of optional. So I create it, run it, try to view the table. What am I doing? Trying to view it. Okay, the reason for now is not. So I will try to insert. This is the same thing with this guy. I'll just change the table name. Persons 3. So insert into persons 3. Hide last name, first name. So this will enter well. Okay. I try to check it out and it's cool. Now I want to run again. This and you're seeing that there's a duplicate here. Okay. That first one we're able to run it and if you enter well. But since I've added a unique constraint, if I try to run this guy now, it will fail. Okay, duplicate entry. I see for key persons 3.id. Okay, and the key persons 3 table, but the ID number. Okay, so look at this key. You see? It must be different value. So unless maybe when I change this guy to 2, okay, and then if I should run it to enter successfully, I can do it. Let's see. Images. Okay, so I was first. How do you create where the IDs upon the data? Upon the data, right? Gotcha. 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 Just gotcha. Instead of this, gotcha and the one gotcha. Yeah, instead of because it's not only 1 2. You may go to a place, your serial number is Swintech 220. Yes. Okay, that is it. So, like when I told you that you can, for SQL Server, Oracle IMS Access, this is how you do it. So, MySQL, you can still use this one, but it also accepts this solution database or relational database management system. Okay, now let's say for instance, let's use that of age. Okay, that of age. We want to make it unique. So we want to alter it. We want to make sure that the age is different. Okay. So we need to use, because this one, like you said, during the creation of the table or after the creation of the table, using the alter statements. Okay. So this guy, this shouldn't go, this shouldn't work. Okay, should not work. Why? I mean, because already this guy has duplicated, and you're trying to turn it to unique, it's not possible. unless we update it and then another image. So I'm saying that maybe we should update this guy person three, set the age and the ID this one. So we update it. It goes well. Then now I can run this guy successfully and it works fine. Okay? I mean, it's supposed to that's nice. You know, you're having 34. Yeah. So when I tried to alter the table of persons and add a unique constraint on the age table, age field, okay, it couldn't go through because it was having 34. That was a duplicate end. So you cannot make something that is 34 unique. They must be different. Okay. So what I did was to make sure that I update the person's table. And instead of leaving it on at 34, which it wasn't before, I had to set the age at 21, where the ID is 2, maybe 21. And then I try to add unique content to it. So it will check and see that these guys are no longer the same. So they're unique. And to add it. So the next time I try to add something the same again, so let me say, see that this one will not run, even though it ran before. Here's 34 now, and there's 34 here. If I try to run it, it will not run because already there's someone with that 34. Of reality, more than one person. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm just telling you how reality. When you do your own, you have to be realistic. Okay. Um, I want to try something. Let's say I want to drop it. Remember, this is the key for key person 3.h from auto table person drop constant. I don't know if this is the key. Let me see. Sometimes it comes out with the key, sometimes it doesn't. Duplicate into that for person 3.h. Let me just try something. Person 3, I want to drop a constant dot h dot h s person 3.h s3 dot constant. Drop it. Okay, let me leave it. I wanted to drop control, but it's supposed to give us a key, and the key I'm getting here is not so. Drop one, alter table persons 3, drop one, I have to check this guy out. Persons 3 dot 8. Well, I'll check it out. However, you can actually drop the constraints, maybe it accepts unique value, but now you want to drop this. Alter table persons 3, drop constraints. Let me check online. Sometimes it comes out to drop image constraints in MySQL. So indexing. That's in index. Do something. If I don't get it, I have to check it out at the sentence. This could be control. Let us consider that out. I'm just saying in that yes. The passionate. Objective. Block index constraints name. Context. How to check that. Let us continue. Let's remember show this how to calculate strengths. Okay, primary key. So you can have different types that the unique constants, many fields can have unique constants. Okay, but only one field can have primary key. Because what primary key does is, let me show you what primary key does. So let's say, let's say we have a table like this. Let's say we have a table. This customer ID, give the first name and give the last name. Yes, I record this on customer table. Then we have another table called on that table. And in this other table, we have other ID. And this is, let's say, is a other number of orders, something like that. And inside here, I also have an ID, maybe customer ID. Let's say C. Now, in these two tables now, this customer ID and this other ID are primary keys. Okay? But it is with a primary key. Primary key helps you to join two tables together. Because without the primary key, you cannot join tables together. So you can see CID here, CID here. So because of this guy is a primary key here, but it's a foreign key here. Okay? It's a foreign key here. When we enter into join, you can understand this better. Foreign key here. With this guy, you can link the two of the two tables together. So this one is a primary key to this particular table, customer table. And this other ID is a primary key to this other thing. Okay. So no table can have two primary keys. Understand? They only have one primary key. The primary key constraint uniquely identifies each record in a table. They must contain unique values and cannot contain null values. Not possible. Okay, so while unique may have null values, eh, primary key constraints must be unique and cannot have null values. And also, it can only be used in one field. Okay, uh, so a table can only have one primary key, and in the table, the primary key can consist of single or multiple columns. Is when we get this. So they we can decide to join things when we get it to join. We can actually decide to make two columns into one, form a new one, but it just has to be one primary key. So I cannot say I give one primary key here in this table, and this same table also has another primary key. No. So the following, like here now, we have an integer, not null, last name. Then we're making this ID the primary key. Most times the ID columns are used as the primary key. So create table persons ID integer, not null, not this one already, and then we're making this one the primary key. There's nothing much there. No, I don't do. So persons form. Persons form. Primary key is the primary key. So the primary key automatically will demand for unique values, and it cannot be null. Even if I remove this guy, since this guy is primary key, okay, cannot be null. I created it. If I want to insert into it, its persons form. So I'll say one. I'll run this guy, enter. If I try to run it again, it will not enter. Okay. You're not seeing anything that unique here, but you're seeing primary key. Okay, but primary key automatically has to be unique. No, like the first one, yes. It has to be unique. And it can only be used once for a table. So I think I will stop here. I will continue with this other ones. So when I get this guy.